kind of sitting at the edge of your blanket, let's start out stretching our shoulders and our neck. So just taking your hands behind your back, interlacing the hands, and we'll bring our fist over to the right, dropping the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And you don't really need to lean over to the side, just dropping the ear to the side, still sitting up tall, maybe lifting the chin up just a little bit, and allowing the left side of your shoulder and your neck to just release a little bit. Stretch. And then you can bring the chin down a little bit and then tilt it up a little bit, just moving slow, tilting it down and up about 4 or 5 times. And then just bringing your chin down towards your chest, pausing in the center. Take your fists and bring them over to the other side, and then drop your left ear over towards the left shoulder. Just tilting the chin up, allowing the muscles to just release. Starting to lengthen your breath. Maybe closing your eyes. And then tilting the chin up a little bit more, bringing it down a little, doing that movement a few times. Good. And then you can just bring your hands behind your back, draw your shoulders down and back, looking forward, staying here a few breaths. And then you can take your hands and interlace them behind your head, draw your elbows towards each other, sitting up tall, and you're just going to drop your chin down towards your chest, stretching the back of your neck. Then you can release your hands. Just come to sitting up tall. If you want to roll your head and neck out once or twice more, you can. Closing your eyes. Just starting to notice your breath. So maybe coming into an Ujjayi type breath. Just really focusing on being present. So inhaling through the nose. As you exhale through the nose, just slightly constricting your throat. So maybe just hearing that audible little sound or vibration in the back of your throat as you're exhaling. Making your inhales and your exhales about the same length. Really just focusing right now on being present. Maybe say to yourself, just reminding yourself, be here now. Setting an intention for class. Maybe reminding yourself of something you're grateful for. You can just slowly open up your eyes, and we're just going to come to a little twist. So twisting to your right. You can take your left hand to the outside of your right knee or your right leg. Sitting up tall, so a little neck stretch, looking over your right shoulder. And coming back through to the center. Just easy twist in the other direction, opposite hand to opposite knee. Looking over the other shoulder. A few deep breaths. Good, and then just making your way back through to the center. Then we'll set up for a child's pose. So to set up for the child's pose, you can use your blanket as padding for the knees. So just taking the blanket out to the side, towards the bottom half of your mat. Taking the knees out about the width of the mat. Sitting back towards the heels and then reaching the arms out long, allowing your forehead to relax down on your mat. And starting to notice a little bit where you're feeling a stretch. So child's pose is a nice gentle stretch. Should feel good in your back. We're starting to just gently open up the hips here. Stretch out the inner legs. A little bit the arms, the shoulders. Coming back to your breath. So maybe coming back to that Ujjayi breath that we started with at the beginning of class. Giving yourself permission to just relax and release in this pose. Knowing that this is a more passive yoga practice. So it's actually more beneficial for you the more you can just let your body release and relax into the pose and just letting the pose do the work. From here, we're just going to add a thread the needle variation. So you can lift your head and chest up, walk your hands back just a little bit. Bringing the right arm underneath, the right hand underneath the left armpit. Maybe bringing the right side of the head down, the right shoulder down. Either keeping the left arm out long, or you can just let that left arm relax behind the lower back. And maybe just noticing and observing your thoughts as they pass through. And try not to get stuck too much on anything in particular. Just allowing the thoughts of your mind to just flow. And just coming back to your breath if your mind just wanders too much or gets stuck on something too much. From here, you can take that left hand and bring it back down. Press yourself up, back up, just pausing in the center, and then putting the needle on the other side. Left shoulder, left side of the head comes down. Maybe right hand behind your lower back. One more deep breath here. And then you can press your right hand up. Bring your left hand up, pausing in the center. Walk your hands back. Bring your knees in towards each other. And then we'll sit back for child's pose variation with our shoulders relaxed and our knees together. Bring your forehead back down. And then from here, you can make your way up to a seat. We're going to set up for a seated forward fold. And you can use, if you don't have a blanket, it's fine. But if you have it, you can use it to either roll it and place it underneath your knees, or you can use it to sit on to kind of raise your hips up a little bit higher to let your back, might feel better for your back. I have tighter hamstrings, so I like to allow my knees to relax a little bit. That feels good. All right. From here, let your ankles relax, knees are relaxed, and start to make your way forward, maybe just kind of pausing a little bit halfway. So not going to the edge right away. Spend a breath or two here. And then slowly making your way forward a little bit more. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your back to round and relax. All right, that being said, so we want to allow the body to relax, but if it's too much for your back to be rounded, you can always straighten through the back and just, focus on folding forward from the hips here. Try to come to your edge for right now. So that point where you're feeling a good stretch. So we're getting a really deep stretch, which is kind of one of the things that makes it different than restorative yoga. We want that nice deep stretch, but we're not forcing it. We're not yanking ourselves down. We're still letting the muscles relax into the pose. If you're tensing the muscles too much, we're not really stretching the deeper tissues. We're still stretching the muscles, which is good, but the more you can let the muscles relax, let gravity do the work, let your body relax, the more you'll be able to open up and access the deeper tissues beyond the muscles. Noticing and observing right now where you're at. Noticing if you can go a little deeper, if you have a new edge, or if you need to push back a little bit. Relax a little bit more. Seeing if your body can go even a little bit deeper. Just embracing the stillness, maybe the more meditative aspect of the practice. Take about 3 more deep breaths here. And then take your time. Start to walk your hands back, just moving nice and slow, just pausing and with a straight back. And then bending the knees a little bit, taking the feet out wide. If you feel a little bit stiff, that's normal. We're just going to try to work that out a little bit, slowly bringing some easy movements back to our body. And then we'll come to a reverse tabletop. Counter stretch for our back, lifting the hips up. Maybe letting that head drop back, shoulders come together a little bit in the front. Good, and you can lower back down. All right, so our next pose is going to be Sphinx pose. So you can set your blanket to the side unless you want to use your blanket to rest your head. And we'll come onto our belly. All right, so in your Sphinx pose, allowing the legs to relax. Shoulders or elbows under your shoulders. So you want your body to mostly relax, except for the only thing that really needs to be active is between your shoulders and your ears. You don't want to let the shoulders scrunch up towards your ears. You want to keep them down and back away from your ears. And this should be a nice gentle stretch for your lower back. But as we're holding it, anytime if you need to, if you want to bring your head down, it'll be a little bit more gentle on your lower back. And if it feels okay, you can just look forward, keeping your head and chest forward, even closing your eyes if you want to, if that's more relaxing. Allow your lower back to relax. You can either stay here, right where you're at, or if you want to go deeper, you can take your hands wider, straighten your elbows, coming into seal pose. A little bit deeper, bend for your lower back, a little bit more in your upper back. Out, 2 more deep breaths. You can make your way down. We'll relax on our belly, bringing one side of the head down. The hands can just be by your side with your palms up. Allowing yourself to just lie on your belly, let your back be flat for a few breaths. And then you can lift your head up and bring the other side of your head down. Stretch your neck a little bit on the other side. Then you can make your way up to a seat. All right. Grab some water if you want. And our next 2 stretches are going to be mostly for our hips. So we're going to do half shoelace pose or shoelace pose with some twists and side stretches on each side, and then we'll do pigeon pose. All right, so for our half shoelace pose, you can start out bringing your right leg out long, cross the left foot on top, and you're working towards stacking the knee, so bringing that foot over. This is our half shoelace pose. You can stay here and you'll get a little bit more in your hamstrings, in your left hip. If you want to bend the knee back, if that feels okay, you can, but you don't need You want both sit bones to be down. So if when you bend your knee back, that one hip lifts up, you might want to not worry about that. Right? All right, from here, get my sit bone down. That's fine, and that's I mean that's just another. It's actually a little bit deeper hip stretch, but stretching the same thing.
So I was like, I could never get it.
Yeah, some people just have a preference. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna do a twist from here. So your left knee is up top, so you're gonna take your right hand to the left knee, other hand behind your back, looking over your shoulder, twisting through the upper body. And then we'll come back through to the center, and we're going to stretch over to the side. So you can bring your right hand down, and we'll stretch up and over to the right side. So stretching those side muscles, staying there for a few breaths. Good, and then you can make your way back up. All right, from here we're just going to fold forward. We're just going deeper into hip stretch. And you don't have to fold forward if you already feel it enough sitting up straight. We'll be here for about 1 more minute. Take your time to walk your hands back, keeping your legs right where they are, and just pausing straight back. From here, we're going to come to cradle the baby pose. So that knee that's on top, your left knee, you can place the foot in the hand, take the elbow around the knee, rock side to side. If you want to go deeper in the cradle of the baby, you would place the foot around the elbow, other elbow around the knee. Working towards straightening your back, lifting your chest, and just rocking side to side, opening the hip up a little bit more. All right, and then you can release. Just bring our legs forward, shaking them out. And then set up for the other side. So take your time to set up, crossing that leg on top. And just kind of taking the same variation that you did on the other side is fine. If you want to bend that knee back, doing that, if you did that on the other side. Right, and then from here, we're going to twist in the other direction. So opposite hand to opposite knee, looking over that shoulder, twisting through the upper body, deep breath. You can make your way back through to the center. We'll do that side stretch towards the left, so bringing the left hand down, reaching up and over to that then you can make your way back up. Either just staying here, we'll be here for about 1 minute more, or you can start to fold forward. Allow your body to relax, softening the muscles in your face. About 2 more deep breaths. And then you can walk your hands back. Make your way up, just kind of pausing for a moment or two at the top. Start to twist your legs a little bit, and then we'll come to cradle the baby pose on the other side. Either holding the foot and bringing the elbow around the knee, or you can place the foot around the elbow and release the hand, rocking side to side. Okay, then you can release, just straighten the legs, shaking them out. So that stretch is mainly for the hips. And so like with that stretch, the 2 variations are kind of with the knees stacked, or it can be like the fire log pose or square pose. So the next pose we're going to do is pigeon pose, but your variations, so it just kind of depends on your preference, can be a figure 4. So people with really tight hips might just do a seated figure 4, but you can all do a lying down figure 4, just depending on how you feel right now. So kind of think how you feel. The pigeon pose is a little bit more intense. Figure 4, you get to lie on your back. So just depending on what you want to do right now. And you can set it for either pose. Both really working on the hips. All right, so I'm going to do the pigeon pose. In pigeon, just starting on hands and knees or downward facing dog. Stretching it out just to prepare. And then you can make your way into pose. In your pigeon pose, if you have a big gap between your hip and the ground, you can always put that blanket underneath the hip to just allow it to relax. Coming to your forearms in pigeon, or even letting the arms come out long and bring your forehead down. Your figure 4, just maybe pressing that right knee out a little bit to the side and feeling that stretch in your hip, your glutes. Notice if you're tensing any other muscles up, and just tell yourself, release, relax, let go. Even softening the muscles in your face and in other parts of the body that we're not necessarily stretching. About 2 more deep breaths here. And you can start, if you're in the pigeon, start to make your way to an upright pigeon pose. Pausing there for another 2 or 3 breaths. And then you can start to make your way out of the pose, just stretching it out. So in figure 4, you might want to just straighten the arms and the legs in pigeon pose, maybe doing some hip circles or downward facing dog. And then before we do the other side, you can either stay lying on your back or just come to a child's pose. Good, and then from here, you can just set up for the other side. Once you're in the pose, making yourself more comfortable. So in pigeon, maybe you want to bring the blanket under the hips. Figure 4, maybe you want to roll out the ankles a few times. Eventually make your way into a place of stillness that you can let yourself relax. Let your body just give into the pose. Just taking a moment to just notice and observe how this side feels compared to the other side. Telling yourself to just let go. Softening your face muscles. About 2 or 3 more deep breaths here. And take your time, if you're a pigeon, to walk your hands back, just pausing that upright pigeon for a few breaths. And then you can make your way out of the pose, just stretching it out. However it feels good. All right, and then from here, we'll make our way onto our back. So if you want to grab a drink of water and set up to be on our back for the last part of that. And we'll start with our counter stretch will be a mini Shavasana. So just allowing yourself to lie flat on your back for a few breaths. And then we're just going to do that shoulder neck stretch. So reaching your arms straight up overhead, grabbing your elbows, making a frame just above your chest. Inhale. Exhale, bring the elbows towards one side as your head and neck look towards the opposite side. Inhale, head and elbows come through to the center. Exhale, your neck and your arms move in the opposite direction. So just going through these movements a few more times, taking your time, moving with your breath. We'll do 2 more times on each side. And then you're going to take that frame you have above your chest and you're going to bring it up overhead. So you're still holding on to the elbows, but they're relaxing up overhead. From here, we're going to come into our banana pose. So go ahead and move your hips, like scoot your body over to the right side of your mat. We're going to keep our hips right where they are. Walk our feet to the left side of the mat, crossing the right ankle on top of the left ankle. And then inch your head, your chest, and your upper body over to that left side. So you're in a banana shape with your body. Closing your eyes and just feeling that nice stretch all along the right side of your body, from your ankles, up through your legs, your waist, your arms. Just staying there. Just going to turn the legs now. And you can take your time to uncross your ankles, come back through to the center. Maybe just extend your arms up overhead, stretch out the legs long. And then you can bend the knees, and we'll just hug the knees in towards the chest, doing a few circles. And we'll set up for the other side. So you can move your body over to the left side of your mat. Take that frame with your arms and allow it to relax up overhead. Walk your feet to the right side, crossing the left ankle on top of the right ankle. Keep Keeping your hips glued in place as you inch the upper body to the right. About 2 more deep breaths. Then you can make your way back through to the center. Bring your legs back through to the center. Stretching it out long. And then bending the knees. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. Moving in a circle or rocking side to side. From here, just take any last stretch or any last movement that you want to do before coming into Shavasana. Be happy baby pose. Maybe just a little twist or something else. And then when you're ready, making your way into Shavasana, just making yourself comfortable. So if you want to use your blanket in any way, just grabbing your blanket. And just kind of getting out any last movements. So any last fidgeting, kind of just get it out of the way so that you can come to a place of stillness for your Shavasana. Scanning your body, starting with your toes, your feet, and allow them to just release and relax. Noticing how your calves feel, your knees and your legs, and consciously tell yourself, just release. Allow your lower back to relax. Allow your upper back to relax and just sink a little bit deeper in towards your mat. Allow your head to just get heavy. Softening the muscles in your face. Relaxing that area, that space of the third eye in the middle of your forehead. Letting the shoulders release and relax. The arms, the hands, and even the fingers. Allowing yourself to just be and to just breathe. From here, take a nice deep inhale. Complete exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And start to bring some movement back to your body. Maybe just small movements to start with, wiggling your fingers, your toes, then rolling out your ankles, rolling out your wrists. And then bringing some bigger movements back, bending your knees, stretching your arms up overhead. When you're ready, you can roll onto one side, pausing there for a breath or two, and taking your time to make your way up to a seat. We can finish by bringing our hands to our heart center, taking one more inhale, reaching out and up, pressing our palms together, bringing our hands down towards our heart center. Just taking a moment here to feel a sense of gratitude. Thanking yourself for doing something good for your body and your mind, and allowing the positive energy you feel from class to be a benefit to yourself and the people around you throughout the evening and throughout the day tomorrow. Namaste. Namaste.